Our tech tip today is using Adobe Express to engage students and increase creativity by having them create something that shows what they are learning in class, in their content. Whatever you're teaching, we want them to be able to share that learning in new and different ways. Today, we're going to talk about flyers. I love to start with flyers because these are easily printable because they're an 8.5 by 11 size. We're going to hover over this and we're going to click Create from Scratch. This will give us a blank canvas where we can add any elements that we want. So the first element we're going to add is a background image. And we want to add something that shows our students are learning about different habitats. And this particular student is learning about the desert habitat. So we're going to just click desert. Now it's going to give me a bunch of pictures of the desert. Um, we can choose one that's plain or we can choose one that has images on it. Now you see it adds it right here. Now I could just leave the picture here and have that as part of my flyer, or I could, if I'm clicked on it, I can click set as page background and I can click that and it's going to give me that as my page background. Now, if I'm not happy with what part is on my page background, I can click this button right here that says reframe. That means I can move this around. So if I want to keep that tree in it, I can do that. Or if I want to move it so I don't have that tree, or maybe I just want this little bush over here, I could even make this a little bigger so that I see more of the desert and less of the sky. So I think I'm going to be happy with that right there. So I'm going to call that ready to go. And then it's a little bright. And once I start adding text, that text might get lost on my page. So if I click on that background again, I can come over here to the opacity and I can reduce that so it's a little less bright. I still see that desert background, but it's not as bright. And when I add my text and things, it's going to show up better. Next, we're going to add text because we want a title on this thing. So I'm going to click the T for text over here. And I'm going to go ahead and click this button at the top that says Add Your Text. There are other options on that page, but I am going to choose to add my own text. And we're going to call it the Desert Habitat because that's what we're talking about. That's what this student is sharing his learning about. Maybe I want to make it even bigger. Now, I love to test out different um, fonts here. And if I click on this recommended option here, I can see there are a lot of different fonts available for me. And I can go through and choose. I could click the view all. It's going to show me a bunch of different ones. I can also go right here and click this drop down and I can see a lot of different ones here. So your students will be able to choose whatever font they want to choose. And then sometimes if it doesn't change, it's because I've got to select the text. Sometimes I forget to do that. I get super excited about what I'm doing and I forget to do that. Now that text made it really big. So I can just drag the corner, make it a little smaller. I think I need to make it a little bit smaller there. It might be not quite the right font for me. I can also change the color of my font here. Maybe I want it to be white or a yellow color to kind of go with the background here and go with the theme I'm looking at. Let's go ahead and move it over. That pink line tells me that I'm right in the middle. All right, so now I am a student who has been learning about habitats, and my habitat is the desert habitat. So I know that I need to add some information about the desert plants and animals. So um, I know that a cactus is a plant that lives in the desert, and there's lots of options for that here. I'm going to go ahead and look through here. Oh, I love this. This is a great picture. Now, that would have been a great picture for the background as well. But I just really want the trees in there, these cacti. So I can come here and I can remove the background. And I have to test this sometimes to see what the background, what part of the background. See, it kind of removed a lot, but I don't like that. I can restore the image. I'm probably not going to use that image though. So let me go back to my images. I just really want a cactus. Let's try this one. See, this is the fun part, just finding all the different options. So let's see if it'll take away everything except for that cactus. Oh yeah, that looks great. So we're going to go ahead and add this over here. We've got a desert plant. And now I want to go ahead and add another um, option here. We can add a desert animal. So we're going to go ahead and add the desert tortoise. I think I've got that spelled right. Oh, here's one. He's really cute. He's cute right here. I think we're going to go with this guy. Again, I'm going to want to remove the background here. So if I click on that, it will give me the option to remove the background. And so now I'm just left with my tortoise. So this is just going to be the start of this project for me. I'm going to go ahead back to text because now I need to write something about my animals and plants and why they can survive. Desert plants and animals need actually they have special adaptations. They have special adaptations that help them survive. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, but I don't know that I really like that. Well, I kind of like the font, but let's see. Again, I want to highlight it. I can come over here. That's a neat one. You get the idea. You could keep going. You can make it kind of look like handwriting here. I could make it so that it fits in between these two. So it kind of looks like an infographic or a flyer that is telling about this. There's so many options here. We can look in the elements section. We can look for a cactus in this section. So I could add a picture or like a drawing of a cactus here. And I think I want to make this a little bit bigger. So there are so many things that you can do here in Adobe Express. So now before we move on, I want to make sure that we title our project. So I'm going to go ahead and make my name be the first part. And I'm going to call this Desert Habitat. And then I'm just going to click enter and it's going to rename my project. The next thing I want to do is share this project. So I'm going to click the share button on the top right corner and click invite collaborators. I'm going to go ahead and share this with Allison because she's my wonderful partner here. And she gets all of my things that I create, and I get all of hers so that we can show you guys how these things work. So I type her name, and then I can even put a message here. Hey, can I have some feedback on this? What do you think? And I can click invite to edit. Now, Allison, when she goes in there, she has the option to leave me comments. She could click on something and add a comment. So if you're working on this with your students, you can do this with students. They can share their project with you, and you can go in and give them comments. And finally, when students are finished, if they want to download this, they could download a PNG and upload it to a Schoology media album, or they could download it as a PDF and print it off. So they just click that and click download, and it's going to download to their computer. So that is a quick tutorial on how to use Adobe Express to create flyers to show student learning. What other ideas do you guys have to create with Adobe Express?